Have you always wanted to write a book but just have trouble pulling the trigger? Well, with over 25 years of experience, Greenleaf Book Group is the right choice for you. Greenleaf Book Group is an independent publisher and distributor dedicated to empowering authors. Need help developing and promoting your big idea? Greenleaf Book Group is an expert at branding, book creation, and retail distribution. From conception to completion, from strategy to shelf, the pros at Greenleaf Book Group can support you. You keep the creative control, the intellectual property, and the lion's share of the royalties. Stand out as the go-to expert. Get your book published. Greenleaf Book Group takes your ideas and makes them into reality. Build your brand and stand out. greenleafbookgroup.com or check the link in the show notes.
They actually have a plan for today's Nice Guys on Business podcast. You don't want to miss it.
We want to partner with the right people. And I think that we provide, for us, that accountability is that we are very involved. We're very hands-on in order to be successful in the restaurant. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We've spent a lot of time establishing what makes the brand successful, and we want to work with partners that see the value in the brand, see the uniqueness of the brand, and want to get in there and share that with their community.
What are we going to do today? Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Oh, and listen to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, of course. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by Turnkey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
Nice Guy community. So having a tattoo is a commitment. You got that. But having the words Taco Life on your knuckles reaches a whole new level. Enter Michael and Randy, two guys that know the business and they love tacos. Now, from what I've learned, Randy has the recipes locked away, and the only way Michael could actually get tacos Randy's way was to finance the whole Megillah. Long story short, Chronic Tacos opened its doors in 2002, inspired by a badass recipe, a laid-back experience with an irresistible edge, and personal, friendly service. The Taco Life movement continues to spread across the nation, one shop at a time. Michael and Randy, welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Actually, welcome back to the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
Hey, it's good to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have you here. I was looking back. It was episode 943 in July of 2019. Nice Guy community. I'll put a link in the show notes so you have access to that. Almost 4 years ago, as of the recording of this, almost exactly 4 years ago, 500 plus episodes ago. What has changed in the last 500 episodes or 4 years for you guys? We just saw like a pandemic. We saw all sorts of things happen in that time. How you guys been doing?
Yeah, I was going to say, not much over the last 4 years, business as usual. But we've been good. We survived during, I would say, one of the most unforeseen times. We were talking about that, when that first hit in a business like that, ours, you really didn't know where that was going to go. But, we adapted pretty quick. We made sure that we had the technology pack in place. We were lucky that we were doing a lot of online and third party, prior to that. We had to really get efficient with our team and get creative with how do we support our franchisees. Nobody was getting on planes for a while. You weren't able to get out to the stores. So it was really constant communication. So our team was on the phone, on conference calls, whatever, Zoom, Teams, you name it. We were on it daily. And the priority was just constant communications with our franchisees. What was going on? How did they need to adapt? What were the new rules that were ever changing? And then as that went on, how do you, from a financial position, how do you shore up your business, guiding them through various things like the PPP funding,
right?
What grants were in place. So, our team was, we were full on. We were working at home like everybody else for, that period of time, but thank God for technology, and we were able to communicate and really work efficiently as a team.
Randy, I know you're the laid back, chill guy with the taco life on his knuckles. Who is more nervous, you or Michael in this whole process?
Michael.
Yeah, you were just like, it's what's going to be what it's going to be. Chill out, dude. I'm just going surfing. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't your attitude, but it's the persona that you kind of lead with. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. And what Michael did great was jump on it right away. Right when this happened, Mike was like, we need to contact landlords. We really got to get ahead of this. And I mean, for the brand, it was huge, to be at the beginning and acting on it immediately.
Yeah, Michael, you were no longer in the food and franchise business. You were in the psychology business at that point, weren't you? Because I imagine that both you guys and Randy, I'm sure your laid back touch probably added a lot of positivity to the element, because in an environment where everybody is nervous as shit, they needed a rock that was a little bit more laid back. But Michael, they probably needed that education and that psychology that you offered them as well. Is that true?
To an extent, I'd say my wife was a psychologist during that time, but
yeah.
But it was, you want to keep people calm. There's a solution. You just have to, sometimes you got to step back, see where the problem is, and control what you can control. And
right.
that, you're just doing the best you can. And, our franchisees, they did a great job. It was an unknown time. And so I think that the biggest thing was communication. Communication calms people down. If you can come up with solutions and have answers to where there's answers available, that's the best you can do.
All right, let's step out of the COVID time, since everybody wants to put that behind them. But it was important for me to at least address it, because you guys were in a situation where how many locations did you have at that point in 2020 when all the shit was hitting the fan?
We were over 50. We were about 50 locations.
Okay, and how many?
Pipeline. So it changed a lot of things.
So, and when you have 50, you got a lot of balls that are juggling in the air. I mean, that's not an easy feat. So talk to me about in our community, for those of you that want to hear the Chronic Taco story, just go ahead and listen to episode 943. I don't want to have Michael and Randy repeat the entire backstory of how their business was established. I want to talk moving forward, like what separates you guys? What's the unique value proposition that you offer customers that maybe they can't get by going into a Subway or going into a McDonald's or a Taco Bell, which would be I guess not a competitor, but there's no competition to the taco life world. So what unique value proposition do you guys offer to your customers?
For us, it's always been about the flavor. We've talked about this. It's the recipes. It's you're having an elevated menu experience, but at a more affordable price. And, over the years, we've been able to, get creative, come up with innovative ideas for the menu, taking traditional recipes, incorporating simple things like, our surf and turf burrito, that, is shrimp and steak. And it's something unique you're not going to see elsewhere. But for us, it's done the way you want to do it. We believe our flavors are so important. Currently we are working on new sauces. So, something to enhance that recipe and enhance that experience, enhance the visual component of it. It's an irreverent brand. We want to be able to provide something that's just unique.
And Randy, how close do you feel like they are to the original recipe back in well, it's probably more than since 2002. The recipe was probably before you opened up your first door. So how close are we to the original 3 generations old recipe?
We are still using the same recipes. We've even framed our handwritten recipes to know where we came from. And it's funny, our chefs, we wrote it all out on paper and actually wrote it on the back of a sign.
Nice.
But yeah, no, all the same recipes.
What would a customer expect when they walk into a Chronic Taco?
Really, really good taco.
I think that's important. I'm going to give that as it's a must, and it better be a very good taco. If it's not a good taco, I think we all got a lot of trouble here going on.
I think it's the vibe too, like coming in, being greeted, we really take pride in our customer service, make it how you want it. What the customer wants, they're going to get. And then, we got cool artwork, and it's just an edgy, different kind of taco shop that makes us so different than everybody else. Our marketing, our branding, having fun, it's really good tacos, but also living a lifestyle in Southern California, being here, having a good time and enjoying it.
And that's what's been great to have customers coming back, because for us, so much of that experience is in the restaurant. So, and so much of what we do is outside of the restaurant, is in the community and getting involved there. And it's so great to be able to get back and get out to the community. We just had our 20-year anniversary. So last week, actually, we had, or was it the week before, we had our franchise conference and party. So we had almost all of our franchisees in. We did our learning but the biggest component we wanted to do was celebrate. So we had our learning, and that's important, but we really focused on bringing people together for a celebration. And over the past year, we did our 20-year tour where we went and visited all the locations, had a party at their location, because we wanted to celebrate 20 years, but we wanted to celebrate where we're at.
I love that. And I love the fact that you got, of course, all of your franchisees involved. But one of the things that I don't want to bury the lead here, you guys do a huge amount for the community in giving back as well. Can you talk about maybe one or two of the causes that you guys work towards every year that you've been in business? Well,
everything always, as much as we can, it surrounds food. So wherever we can bring our taco truck, or wherever we can, prepare caterings, or we've done up in Long Beach, feeding the homeless. We've worked on in the past beach cleanups, and we really, and it's not just us on the corporate side, which is important, but we want to set the example, but also our franchisees at the community level as well. So everything we do, it's always going to be around food and contributing that, because that's, we can bring that to them.
So talk to me a little bit about the things that you do. I mean, it's like you guys have an app, so people could get the Chronic Taco app. So I'm assuming they get some rewards or some points for doing that. I'm sure you gamify the heck out of the stuff that you're doing as well. I know I had a chance probably back in 2019, maybe a little bit before then, to actually come into your office in, was it Laguna? Where's your
Orange
corporate?
County, Aliso Viejo.
Yeah, that's right. Aliso Viejo. Right. So I had a chance to come down there, and of course we ordered food from. I guess there's a local Chronic Taco that's there, and it was ridiculously good, and it was great. So I got to see the environment that you guys set up in your home office is probably not unlike the environment that is in each one of your locations. It's just a fun, laid back environment, yet you get shit done, and which is really good. Can you just share a little bit about the environment and the culture that you guys have put together over there?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's, we work as a team. We're accountable to each other. We want to be creative. We're open-minded. I mean, these are the things that are really key to us. So, you're having fun. I think that's important, but you have to be accountable, and you've got to work hard. I mean, we're not going to grow if we just come in and drink tequila all day.
Right.
We've got things to get done. And
don't tell Randy that. That's what he's been doing.
But it's so important. And look, this is a challenging industry, and anybody who's in it knows that you have to pay attention to the details, and you have to be adaptable. And that's really important for us. And marketing changes, and how you reach your customers change, operations change. You've seen disruptions in the in distribution. I mean, there's a lot of things that obviously have gotten better now, but I think those challenges have made us and each one of our franchisees better operators.
Randy, take it back to 2002 for a second when the first doors to your first location opened up, and compare that to where you are now. Number one, did you think any idea that you would be where you are right now with the brand? And secondly, where, if you had to blue sky this, where would you hope that it would be in another 20 years?
So no, not in a million years did I think it would get this big, even to 50 stores. The first store was just, we needed good tacos at the beach where I lived. There was nowhere to go. And no, not in a million years. But once we started opening a couple stores, I always wanted Chronic Tacos to be like a household name. And that was the dream of it. And 20 years later, we're in 3 countries. It's international, and it's a household name. And everywhere we go around here, people are like, "Oh, we know Chronic Tacos," and the families come in. So next 20 years, I would love to see us, hit over a few hundred stores, and just keep on doing what we're doing with, always changing the brand, always making it evolving with the times, and not staying stale, playing with recipes, foods, what's trending, making sure that our food is always on point and doesn't turn into this massive, just an okay taco. We got to stay on top of our game always.
And absolutely, in order to keep growing, you have to have, number one, a great product, but you have to deliver it in a way that's exemplary and exceptional and exceeds every customer expectation that's out there. Michael, talk to me for just a quick second for those. Nice Guy community, just so you know, before I hit record, I said to Michael and to Randy, hey, what would be a win for you guys if you came on the show? What would you want to share? I said, do you want to lean into the customer direction, or do you want to lean into the direction of somebody that's interested in a franchise? And Michael, of course, quickly said both of those. Yes, we'll take both of those. So Michael, talk to the guy that's out there, or the woman that's out there in our community that's thinking, this is kind of cool. This is a fun thing that I'd be open to doing. Tell me about some of the process that someone would go through if they were interested in starting a franchise of Chronic Taco.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a franchise business. We really like to work with someone with an entrepreneurial spirit, someone who understands business. Restaurants, that's always key, but that's not all. We know restaurants, we know how to train that. But the opportunity is there. We've established ourselves so well in Southern California, and we've been continuing to grow across the country. And so I think that there's a lot of white space out there for us to grow. It's a unique brand. It's a growing segment of the restaurant industry. When you look at any kind of, I guess, international style food is a growing segment. But most importantly is, do they fit the culture, and do we, is it a match? And that's so key to it, is understanding what's important to us, where our core values are, that, like I said, creativity, open-mindedness, teamwork, accountability. I mean, I don't know if you picked up on that, but that does spell taco. But
I did not pick up on that. I love that.
I kind of threw that around. I didn't realize until but I mean, because I don't, I think of it as that's what's ingrained in us, is that's what's important. So we want to partner with the right people. And I think that we provide, for us, that accountability is that we are very involved. We're very hands-on in order to be successful in the restaurant. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We've spent a lot of time establishing what makes the brand successful, and we want to work with partners that see the value in the brand, see the uniqueness of the brand, and want to get in there and share that with their community.
Hey, behind the scenes, I'm asking you a question I don't know the answer to, and if I'm not supposed to ask you this question, then you can just tell me to fuck off, and that's totally fine as well. Have you been courted by any organizations that have wanted to buy Chronic Tacos?
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot.
I bet.
To be honest, it's various things. It's not. We're not looking to answer to some private equity firm. We want to raise, if there's obviously we're in business. If there's somebody who adds value to the stakeholders of the business, and the stakeholders being the employees, the franchisees, and us, then we're interested. It's, you know, the world's changing, so you got to adapt if you need to.
What would you want somebody to? Oh, by the way, I was in Orlando just recently. My brother-in-law, or my girlfriend's brother, got married, so that would be my brother-in-law, I guess. And lo and behold, in Orlando, there is a Chronic Tacos. I was like amazed. I shouldn't be amazed, but there was. Because I was in your home office in California, I was thinking, and you're on the smaller side of larger franchise, you know, as larger franchises. And I'm thinking, boy, I can't believe they have a location here. And then I got on your website. I'm like, oh, they're in Japan now. Oh, they're in Canada now. Oh, this is a lot has happened in the last few years. You guys are doing great. You've got to feel proud of that.
Yeah, we're starting to build a foothold in Florida. Obviously, we want to go to areas that I think the brand resonates, and you know, that continues to expand. I mean, more and more people are understanding and demanding tacos. So, and good quality, and not just you know, plain Jane meat in a tortilla. They want flavor, and you know, the best tacos, you know, are in California. So we want to share that with the country and the world.
I'm looking at your website right now, and I'm thinking, not Texas? Come on, there's got to be somebody in our audience that lives in Texas that would love. I mean, come on, that's a great place to have a taco shop.
We talk to a lot of people in Texas. We just have to find the right fit.
I got it. So if you're in our community and you're interested in taking a look at becoming a franchisee, definitely click the link in the show notes. You can head over to their website. There's a whole bunch of information right on the site. You can actually even apply on the site, and it tells you the whole process there, the money that's involved, all of the things that would be needed from you, and what you get from the home office. So yeah,
you'll get a personal call from Randy right after.
Wait a minute. If all I did was browse the site, Randy, you're not going to call me, are you?
I might.
I didn't click any links, I promise. I got to ask a self-serving question, because I started with this probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's like everybody that is anybody wants to represent Chronic Tacos, because it is a cool thing. You guys, it's time to start a podcast. You realize that, right? It's time to go. It's time to go.
I think he convinced us.
I did that last time, though. I got shut down by your PR agency. Here's what happens. Your agency, and I love them, by the way. I love all the folks over at the company that represents you, but at Blaze. But they're good. They're a very good buffer for you. Just so you know, they run good interference, which is what they should be doing. But you guys, I see you sitting down with like, not even industry insiders, but like superstars, like NFL stars and people that are like big names that just love tacos and love the culture that you guys have put together. And you'll get yourself a mascot and a representative from one of these big name people. And that's truly the beginning of how your podcast is going to be. I just think you're going to land a really good rep that way.
Yeah. Well,
I'm in.
Food for thought. Tacos for thought. Anything I'm not asking you guys that I should be talking when it comes to Chronic Tacos? How did you come up with a name? How did that name happen?
Well, it's a family name, actually. It's my son's last name, my first son. My last name's Wyner. We weren't married. On his birth certificate, it said Chronic Wyner. So when he got a little older, he was like, we gotta, Dad, can we get, just keep it Chronic? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Also, big fan of Chronic, and I thought it would be just different, edgy, cool. My son spells it a little different, so the name comes from, back when we started 20 years ago, everyone was like, oh, it's the Chronic. And to me, Chronic means the best. It's going to be, you're going to want it over and over again. And I just thought it would be a good fit. And when we did it at first, people were like, you guys are crazy. Like, what are you doing? At that time, it was kind of taboo, but everybody wanted to try it because they didn't understand. And is there Chronic in the tacos, or, and I'm like, no, it's just really, really good tacos.
And it's a great name. It's a very catchy name. So it's a name that has lasted through the ages, and it will continue to do so. Mike and Randy, thank you so much for sharing. If I'm missing anything, feel free to jump in here, but I think we covered it all, unless you have some other stuff that you want to tell my audience that's out there.
No, we really appreciate it. Check us out online, and Randy would love to give you a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy is the guy. Randy, Mike, thanks for sharing on the Nice Guys today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice or the power of a really good tasting taco. Special thanks to Mike and Randy. All of their information will be right there in the show notes. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For Doug, Strickland, the Nice Guys on Business podcast, I'm Steve O'Brien. Yo, bartender, Jobo needs a refill.